Maya stood at the viewing window of the Starship Odyssey, her breath forming small clouds on the glass as she gazed at the approaching planet. Zorax hung in space, like a massive blue jewel swirled with green and purple clouds. Maya had studied this world for years, but seeing it now with her own eyes made her heart race. This was the first official human contact with the Zoraxian people, and Maya was leading the diplomatic team. Captain Lily Reynolds approached and stood beside Maya. Both women, silent for a moment as they admired the alien world. The academy, Maya had been the top student in xenolinguistics. She had decoded the Zoraxian language from the limited transmissions Earth had received, making her the obvious choice for this mission, but now facing the reality of meeting actual aliens, she felt her confidence waver. The ship communication system chimed softly. Maya straightened her uniform as Captain Reynolds activated the screen. A blue-skinned being appeared on the monitor, forearms folded in what the humans had determined was a formal greeting posture. The alien had no hair but a crown of small tendrils that shifted color slightly as it spoke. "Welcome humans to Zorax," the alien said in perfect English. "We have been anticipating your arrival." Maya stepped forward. "I am Maya Ellis, lead diplomat from Earth. We come in peace and friendship." The alien's skin pulsed slightly. "We are the Zoraxians. I am Chief Diplomat Vex. You will be escorted to our capital city of Lumina, where you will meet with our queen." The transmission ended and Maya exchanged glances with Captain Reynolds. "Well, they speak English." Maya said, "That's a good start. They've obviously been studying us longer than we've been studying them." Reynolds replied, her voice cautious. 2 hours later, Maya and her team of 5 diplomats descended to the planet's surface in a shuttle. The Zoraxian spaceport was a marvel of crystal and light structures that seemed to float above the ground, connected by bridges that appeared and disappeared as needed. Maya stepped out of the shuttle and took her first breath of alien air. It was sweet and thick like breathing through honey. She felt slightly lightheaded, but the medical team had assured the humans that Zoraxian atmosphere was compatible with human physiology. A delegation of Zoraxians waited at the bottom of the ramp, their blue skin ranging from deep ocean to pale sky in color, their tendrils moving gently as if in a breeze, though the air was still Maya. Ellis, Chief Diplomat Vex said, extending all 4 arms in greeting. "Welcome to Zorax." "Thank you," Maya replied, mimicking the 4-armed gesture as best she could with her 2 arms. The Zoraxians led the humans to a transport vehicle that hovered silently above the ground as they traveled through the city. Maya could not stop staring. Buildings made of crystal and living material, plants that seemed to be part of the architecture, moving and shifting to create doors and windows as needed. The city itself felt alive. The royal palace was at the center of Lumina, a spiraling structure that reached toward the sky like a massive seashell. Guards, with skin so dark blue they appeared almost black, stood at attention as the humans were led inside. The throne room was open to the sky. 3 moons visible even in daylight. The queen sat upon a throne that appeared to be growing from the floor, living crystal that pulsed with light. Her skin was the lightest blue Maya had seen, almost white with swirls of silver. Her tendrils longer than the other Zoraxians, reaching down her back. Beside her stood a younger Zoraxian female, her skin a vibrant medium blue with patterns that shifted and changed across her surface. She watched the humans with obvious curiosity, her eyes changing color from gold to green to purple as they approached. "Humans," Queen Lyria said, her voice melodic. "We welcome you to our world. I present my daughter, Princess Ilara." Maya bowed deeply as they had practiced. "My queen, it is an honor to be the first humans to visit your beautiful world. I am Maya Ellis, lead diplomat from Earth." The queen gestured with her upper arms while her lower arms remained still, a sign of royal status. Maya had learned, "We have been observing your species for many years," she said. "You are young but show great promise." Maya felt a flutter of unease at the queen's words. They had been watching Earth. How long had the Zoraxians known about humans? Princess Ilara stepped forward, her eyes now a bright, curious gold. "The humans will stay in the East Wing," she said to her mother. "I would like to learn more about them." The queen nodded in agreement. "You may serve as their guide, daughter. It will be good diplomatic experience for you as the formal introductions concluded." Maya found the princess watching her intently when their eyes met. Ilara's skin rippled with patterns of light and her tendrils darkened slightly at the tips. Maya wasn't sure what the reaction meant, but she felt her own face grow warm. Under the aliens' gaze that evening, the humans were given quarters in the palace. Maya's room was large, with walls that seemed to breathe. The furniture grew from the floor and could be reshaped with a touch. The window overlooked gardens where plants glowed with their own light. Maya was reviewing her notes when a soft chime indicated someone at her door. She opened it to find Princess Ilara standing there, all four hands clasped before her. "Diplomat Maya." The princess said, "May I enter? I have questions." "About Earth, of course, Your Highness." Maya stepped aside, gesturing for the princess to come in. "Please call me Ilara," the princess said, her skin pulsing with light. "We need not be so formal." Maya smiled. "All right, Ilara, and you can call me Maya." Ilara moved into the room with fluid grace. She seemed fascinated by the personal items Maya had unpacked, picking up a small framed photo with one of her lower hands. "What is this?" she asked, examining the picture of Maya with her family. "That's my family," Maya explained. "My parents and my sister back on Earth family." Ilara repeated the word, her tendrils shifting to a deep purple. "Your genetic contributors and sibling," Maya laughed softly. "Yes. But we usually think of them with more affection than that." Ilara's eyes shifted to a warm amber color. "Fascinating," she said. "The humans value emotional bonds over genetic utility." Maya wasn't sure how to respond to that. As Ilara continued to examine her belongings, the princess moved with curious energy, asking questions about each item. Maya explained Earth customs as best she could, while trying not to stare at the beautiful patterns flowing across the princess's skin. When Ilara finally left, promising to show Maya the gardens the next day, Maya sat on her bed feeling overwhelmed. This was just the first day of what would be a year-long diplomatic mission, and already she felt off balance in the presence of the alien princess. Morning came with the strange purple light of Zorax's sun filtering through Maya's window. She had slept fitfully, dreams of blue skin and changing eyes following her into consciousness. She dressed in her diplomatic uniform, smoothing the fabric. Nervously, today would be the first full day of negotiations. A soft chime at her door revealed Princess Ilara, waiting, her skin a bright, cheerful blue in the morning light. "You promised to show me the gardens," Maya said with a smile. Ilara's tendrils rippled with pleasure. "I did." She extended one of her lower hands to Maya. "Come." Maya hesitated for a moment before taking the alien's hand. Ilara's skin was warm and slightly textured like fine silk. The princess led her through crystal corridors that sparkled with the morning light. Other Zoraxians bowed respectfully as they passed, some casting curious glances at the human. The gardens were unlike anything Maya had seen on Earth, plants that moved with apparent consciousness, flowers that opened and closed as they walked past, trees with crystal trunks and leaves that chimed softly in the breeze. "These flowers respond to emotions," Ilara explained, leading Maya to a bed of star-shaped blooms. Watch. The princess stood still for a moment, her skin darkening slightly, and the flowers around them suddenly bloomed wider, their petals extending toward her like eager children. "They sense your feelings?" Maya asked, amazed. Ilara nodded. "All life on Zorax is connected," she said. "We evolved from the same source, the plants, the animals, the people we share. Energetic patterns." Maya reached toward a flower. Hesitantly, it seemed to shy away from her touch. "They do not recognize you yet," Ilara said. "Give them time." She placed one of her hands over Maya's and guided it to the flower. This time it leaned into her touch-over. The next weeks, Maya divided her time between official diplomatic meetings and hours spent with Princess Ilara. The negotiations were going well. The Zoraxians interested in establishing trade routes with Earth, while the humans were eager to learn about Zoraxian technology, particularly their advanced medical techniques. But it was the time with Ilara that Maya looked forward to most. The princess was endlessly curious about Earth and humans, asking questions that sometimes made Maya laugh and sometimes made her think deeply about her own culture. "Do all humans look like you?" Ilara asked one day as they walked beside a stream of glowing water. "No," Maya explained. "We have different colors of skin and hair, different facial features, different body types." "Fascinating," Ilara said. "We Zoraxians vary in shade, but our basic form is the same." The princess demonstrated by shifting her skin from its usual blue to a deeper indigo. Then, back again. "We change color with emotion and intention." But our structure remains. Maya found herself studying the princess more and more. The graceful way she used all four arms, the expressive tendrils that crowned her head, the eyes that shifted, color with her moods. Maya had been trained to maintain professional distance, but she felt drawn to Alara in a way that went beyond diplomatic interest. One evening, as they sat in the royal library, Alara translating ancient Zoraxian texts for Maya, the princess asked a question that caught Maya off guard. Do humans mate for life? Alara's eyes were a deep, curious purple. Maya felt her face grow warm. Some do we call it marriage. It's a commitment between two people who love each other. How do you choose your mate? Alara tilted her head, her forearms gracefully folded in her lap. Don't really choose, Maya said, feeling suddenly shy under Alara's color-shifting gaze. It just happens. We fall in love. Fascinating, Alara whispered, her skin glowing. Brighter on Zorax mates are chosen based on genetic compatibility and political advantage. Maya frowned. That sounds very practical. It is, Alara agreed, but perhaps not as fulfilling as your human way. They were interrupted by the arrival of another Zoraxian, a tall male with dark blue skin and serious eyes. Minister Krav, Alara said, standing quickly, her tendrils flattening slightly in what Maya had learned was a sign of displeasure. Princess, the minister bowed. Your mother requests your presence. The trade negotiations have reached a critical point. Lara nodded, turning to Maya. I must go, she said apologetically. We will continue our discussion another time. Maya watched her leave with Minister Krav, noticing how the minister placed one of his hands on Alara's back in a gesture that seemed possessive. Maya felt a strange twinge in her chest later. That evening, Maya met with her diplomatic team in their shared conference room. The Zoraxians are offering medical technology beyond anything we have on Earth. Dr. Andrea Vale, the team's medical expert, reported, her eyes bright with excitement. Their regenerative techniques could revolutionize human medicine. What do they want in exchange? Maya asked. Primarily cultural exchange. Diplomat Kai Chen replied. They seem fascinated by human art, music, literature. Even our cooking. They've requested educational materials and cultural representatives. Maya nodded. So far, the negotiations seemed almost too good to be true, which made her cautious. What about their defense capabilities? Limited information. Captain Reynolds said our scans show advanced shield technology, but few weapons. They seem to be a peaceful species. The meeting continued late into the night as they discussed strategies. For the next day's negotiations, Maya contributed, but found her thoughts repeatedly drifting to Alara and the conversation they'd had about mating and marriage. When Maya finally returned to her quarters, she found a small glowing plant outside her. A note in Alara's flowing script beside it. This is a dream bloom. It will help you sleep and bring pleasant dreams. Place it beside your bed. Maya carried the plant inside its soft blue glow, filling the room with gentle light. She placed it on the table beside her bed, and as she drifted to sleep, she thought she could smell a sweet scent that reminded her of Alara's presence. The next morning, Maya was awakened by urgent chiming from her communication device. Captain Reynolds' face appeared. On the screen, her expression grave. Maya, we have a situation, she said. A second Earthship has entered the system, the Phoenix. They're not responding to our hails, and they're not on the diplomatic registry. Maya felt a chill of foreboding. Is it military? Reynolds nodded. It's an exploration vessel, but it's armed. The Zoraxians are asking questions that I can't answer. I'll be right there, Maya said. Ending the transmission, she dressed quickly and hurried through the palace corridors to the diplomatic wing, where she found Queen Lyria, Princess Alara, and several ministers waiting, their skin tones darker than usual. Diplomat Maya, Queen Lyria said, her voice colder than Maya had ever heard it. You told us yours was the only human ship authorized to make contact. It was Your Majesty? Maya replied honestly, I don't know why another ship is here. The Queen's tendrils flattened against her head, a sign of anger or suspicion. We have attempted communication, but they do not respond. I can try to contact them, Maya offered, hoping to salvage the situation. Before the Queen could respond, alarms began to sound throughout the palace. A Zoraxian guard rushed in, his skin almost black with urgency. My Queen, he said. The human ship has launched smaller vessels. They are approaching. The surface. Alara moved to Maya's side, her lower hand gripping Maya's arm. her skin pulsing with what Maya recognized as fear. "Do you know what they want?" Maya shook her head. "I swear, I don't know what's happening." The palace shook suddenly as something impacted nearby. Maya heard shouting in the corridors. The queen rose from her throne. All four arms extended in a commanding gesture. "Minister Krav," she ordered, "secure the princess and the human diplomat, take them to the safe chambers." Krav bowed and gestured for Alara and Maya to follow him. The princess hesitated, looking back at her mother. "Go," Lyria commanded, her tendrils rigid. "I will join you when I can." Maya felt Ilara's hand grip hers as they followed Minister Krav through corridors she hadn't seen before. They descended several levels into what appeared to be an ancient part of the palace. The walls here were stone, rather than the living crystal of the upper levels. "What is happening?" Maya asked as they hurried through the dim passages. "Your people are attacking us," Krav said, his voice harsh, his dark eyes accusing. "They're not my people," Maya protested, "at least not officially." "I'm here on a peaceful mission. We shall see," the minister replied as they reached a massive door that opened at his touch. Inside was a large chamber with glowing walls that pulsed with light like a heartbeat. Several other Zoraxians were already there. Some Maya recognized as members of the royal court. Others were strangers to her. Minister Krav guided Alara to a raised platform in the center of the room, but when Maya tried to follow, he blocked her path with one arm. "The princess only," he said. His voice, cold. Alara overruled him. "I trust diplomat Maya," she said, her voice carrying the authority of royalty. "She comes with me reluctantly." Krav allowed Maya to join Alara on the platform, where they sat on cushions that seemed to grow from the floor. "What will happen now?" Maya whispered to Alara. "Wait," the princess replied, her skin pulsing with worried patterns. "And hope that your people do not destroy everything we have worked toward." Maya felt sick with worry and confusion. Who had sent the Phoenix, and why were they attacking what had been peaceful first contact? She looked at Ilara's frightened face and felt a surge of protectiveness. This wasn't how things were supposed to go. She had to find a way to fix this before it was too late. Hours passed in the safe chamber with no word from above. Maya paced restlessly while Ilara sat in meditation, her skin cycling through muted colors. Minister Krav watched Maya with suspicious eyes, his lower arms never far from what appeared to be a weapon at his belt. "Maya, I need to speak with you privately," Alara finally said, standing and motioning toward a small alcove. Minister Krav stepped forward. The princess should not be alone with the human. Ilara's tendrils flattened in irritation. "Minister, you forget your place. I am still your princess." Even in crisis, Krav bowed stiffly but remained watching as Alara led Maya to the alcovedo. "You truly not know why your people would attack us?" Alara asked, her voice low, her eyes shifting to a worried gray. "I swear I don't." Maya replied, "Our mission was peaceful. Earth has no reason to attack." Zorax. Alara's skin rippled with what Maya had come to recognize as thoughtfulness. "There are factions among your people, yes? Different groups with different goals." Maya nodded, thinking of Earth's political divisions. "There are. But this makes no sense. The diplomatic mission was approved by the United Earth Council. All nations agreed." The princess leaned closer, her scent like ocean and flowers. "There are factions among us as well," she whispered. "Not all Zoraxians welcome contact with other species. Minister Krav leads those who believe we should remain isolated." Maya glanced at the minister, who was watching them intently. "You think this might be a setup?" Alara's tendrils twitched. "We must consider all possibilities." Their conversation was interrupted by the chamber door sliding open. Queen Lyria entered, her skin pale, almost white, her tendrils drooping with exhaustion. Mother Ilara rushed to her side. "What has happened?" The queen raised her upper hands for silence. "The attack was not what it seemed," she announced to the chamber. "The human ship was hijacked by mercenaries. They sought our crystal technology." Relief flooded through Maya. "So it wasn't an Earth attack. Captain Reynolds and her security team helped our guards repel the invaders." Lyria continued. The queen's eyes found Maya. "They fought to protect us at risk to themselves." 3 humans were injured. Maya felt a surge of pride for her team. "Is everyone all right?" The queen nodded. "The injured are being treated by our healers. The crisis has passed. We may return to the upper levels, as they filed out of the safe chamber. Maya noticed Minister Krav in deep conversation with several other Zoraxians, their expressions and skin tones suggesting disagreement. Alara followed her gaze. Not everyone is pleased with how events unfolded, the princess murmured. Krav and his followers will use this incident to argue against relations. With Earth, when they reached the upper levels of the palace, Maya was relieved to find Captain Reynolds waiting, her uniform torn, and a bandage on her arm. Captain. Maya rushed to her. Are you all right? What happened? Reynolds grimaced. Mercenaries, they claimed to be from the mining guild, but I think they were hired by someone else. They knew too much about our mission. How did they get an Earth ship? Maya asked. Stolen 6 months ago. Reynolds replied, they've been posing as legitimate explorers. The Phoenix was supposed to be halfway across the galaxy. Queen Lyria approached them. Captain Reynolds, she said formally, your bravery has been noted. You and your team fought to protect Zoraxian lives at risk to your own. This will not be forgotten. Captain bowed awkwardly. Thank you, Your Majesty. We couldn't let them harm our hosts. Maya noticed Krav watching the exchange. His skin darkened with what she had learned to interpret as displeasure in the days that followed. Security around the palace. Increased Zoraxian guards were now a constant presence, and Maya found her movements more restricted. Though Alara still visited her daily, they tried to steal our living crystal technology. Alara explained as they walked in a small private garden, one of the few places they were still allowed to go alone. It is the heart of our civilization. Maya had seen the crystal throughout the palace and city. It seemed to be both building material and technology, living crystal that responded to Zoraxian touch. I can understand why it would be valuable, she said. But why use an Earthship for the attack to disrupt our negotiations? Alara replied, her skin patterning with concern. Someone wanted to create distrust between our peoples. Minister Krav Maya suggested. Alara's tendrils flattened. He opposes the alliance with Earth, yes, but I cannot believe he would endanger Zorax. Despite the setback, formal negotiations resumed. Though with greater tension, Maya worked tirelessly to repair the damage done by the attack, emphasizing Earth's peaceful intentions and the actions of Captain Reynolds and her team in defending the Palais. On evening 2 weeks after the attack, Alara came to Maya's quarters, her skin glowing with excitement. My mother has agreed to a cultural exchange program, she announced as soon as the door closed. 10 humans will be invited to study on Zorax, and 10 Zoraxians will visit Earth. That's wonderful, Maya said, genuinely pleased. Alara's skin pulsed with light patterns. I have been chosen to lead the Zoraxian delegation. Maya felt a strange mixture of happiness and disappointment. You're going to Earthies, the princess said, her eyes shifting to a warm gold. Isn't it exciting? I will see your world, the oceans and mountains. You've described. Maya forced a smile. It is exciting, you'll love. Earth. Alara moved closer, her 4 hands taking both of Maya's. But you will not be there to show me. What do you mean? You will remain here as Earth's ambassador while I am gone. Alara explained. We will be apart for 1 Earth year. Maya felt her heart sink at the thought of Zorax without Alara. I'll miss you. The princess's skin darkened to a deep blue, her tendrils curling. I will miss you as well. Maya Ellis. More than I should, perhaps. Maya looked up sharply. What do you mean? Alara released Maya's hands and moved to the window, looking out at the 3 moons of Zorax. Do you recall our discussion about mating and marriage? Maya nodded. Feeling her pulse quicken. Minister Krav has petitioned to be my mate. Alara said, her back still to Maya. He has the approval of the council. Our genetic patterns are highly compatible, and the union would strengthen his political position. Maya felt as if the floor had dropped away from under her feet. Oh, she managed to say, her voice hollow. I see. Congratulations. Alara turned her eyes, now a deep purple that Maya had never seen before. I have not accepted. Hope flared in Maya's chest. You haven't. The princess moved closer again. I told my mother I wished to experience Earth first before making such an important decision. Is that the only reason? Maya asked, hardly daring to breathe. Alara's skin began to glow brighter. No. She admitted, her tendrils curling, and what Maya had learned was embarrassment. There is another reason. Maya waited, her heart pounding. I find myself experiencing emotions for you that are not appropriate between a princess and a diplomat, Alara said formally. But Maya could see the patterns of light racing across her blue skin. What kind of emotions? Maya whispered. Ilara's eyes shifted to gold, then purple, then a blue so deep it was almost black. I believe you humans call it love. Maya felt dizzy with joy and disbelief. Ilara. She began but couldn't find the words. The princess stepped back, her formal posture returning. I should not have spoken. You need not respond. I understand that cross-species attachments are unusual and likely unwelcome. Maya moved forward, closing the distance between them. That's not true, she said, taking Ilara's lower hands in hers. I've been feeling the same way. I just never thought you could feel the same. Ilara's skin brightened dramatically. Truly, yes, Maya laughed. I've been falling in love with you since the first day in the garden. The princess's tendrils curled with pleasure. But there are complications, she said, returning to seriousness. The council, my mother, Minister Krav, will figure it out. Maya promised we have time before you leave for Earth. That night, Maya couldn't sleep, her mind racing. With thoughts of Ilara and the princess's confession, she had come to Zorax as a diplomat, never expecting to fall in love, least of all with an alien princess, with 4 arms and skin that glowed with emotion. What would Earth say? What would her family think? But none of that seemed to matter when she thought of Ilara's eyes changing color with her feelings or the gentle touch of her 4 hands. The next morning, Maya was summoned to a private audience with Queen Lyria. She entered the Queen's personal chambers, nervously unsure what to expect. Diplomat Maya, the Queen said, her voice neutral. My daughter has informed me of her feelings for you. Maya swallowed, her mouth suddenly dry. Your Majesty. The Queen raised a hand for silence. I have known of Ilara's attachment to you for some time. Her emotions show clearly in her skin patterns to those who know how to read them. I care deeply for your daughter, Maya said. Gathering her courage, Lyria's tendrils moved slowly, a sign of contemplation. Minister Krav has petitioned for mating rights. He is of high rank and genetically compatible, but Ilara doesn't love him. Maya said, then immediately worried she had overstepped. The Queen's eyes shifted color. Love, the Queen repeated the word, is a human concept. With respect, Your Majesty, Maya said, I believe Ilara understands it quite well. Lyria studied Maya for a long moment, her face unreadable. Then, to Maya's surprise, her skin lightened. Perhaps she does, the Queen said. My daughter has always been fascinated by human ways. Does that mean? Maya began, hope rising. It means nothing. Yet the Queen said, I have ruled Zorax for 200 of your Earth years. I have seen many changes. I do not make decisions hastily, especially those concerning my only daughter. I understand, Maya said. You will continue your diplomatic duties, Lyria commanded, and Ilara will prepare for her journey to Earth when she returns in 1 year. We will revisit this matter. The day of Ilara's departure arrived too quickly. Maya stood in the royal spaceport watching as the Zoraxian delegation made their final preparations. The princess wore formal travel attire, her skin a controlled, calm blue that revealed none of the emotion Maya knew she must be feeling. Minister Krav stood nearby, supervising the loading of crystal containers that held diplomatic gifts for Earth leaders, his dark eyes occasionally flicking toward Maya with poorly concealed dislike. He had been appointed as Ilara's security chief for the Earth mission, a fact that worried Maya deeply. Princess Ilara approached Maya while the others were distracted. Diplomat Maya, she said, formally aware of the many eyes watching them. I wish to thank you for your guidance in preparation for this journey. Maya bowed, playing along with the public formality. It has been my honor, Your Highness. I trust you will find Earth as fascinating as I find Zorax. Ilara's tendrils curled slightly at the tips, a private sign of affection they had developed. I have something for you, the princess said softly. She held out a small crystal that glowed with inner light. Place this beside your bed. It will help us maintain connection across the stars. Maya accepted the gift carefully, their fingers brushing momentarily. Thank you. From across the loading bay, Minister Krav called Princess. It is time. Ilara's eyes shifted briefly to a sad gray before returning to their formal gold. I must go, she said. Maya Ellis, remember our conversations. I will, Maya promised, knowing Alara was referring to more than just their diplomatic discussions. The princess turned and walked toward the Zoraxian ship, her forearms held in formal posture, her back straight and regal. Maya watched until the ship's crystal doors closed behind her. The next months were the hardest of Maya's life. She threw herself into her diplomatic work, strengthening ties between Earth and Zorax, meeting with various Zoraxian councils and learning more about their culture and technology. But without Ilara, the palace felt empty, the gardens less colorful. Each night, Maya placed the crystal Ilara had given her beside her bed, watching as it pulsed with gentle light. Sometimes she spoke to it, telling the crystal about her day, her hopes, her fears. She had no idea if her words somehow reached Ilara across the vast distance of space, but it comforted her to imagine Maya received official reports about the Zoraxian delegation's activities. On Earth, the princess was touring major cities, meeting with world leaders and scientists, learning about human culture. The reports were formal, giving no hint of Ilara's personal feelings or experiences. 6 months into Ilara's absence, Maya was summoned to meet with Queen Lyria, a rare occurrence since the princess had left diplomat Maya. The queen said as Maya entered the royal chambers, "Your work here has been exemplary. Thank you, Your Majesty," Maya replied, bowing. The queen's tendrils moved in a pattern Maya couldn't interpret. "I have received concerning reports from Minister Krav." Maya felt a chill. What kind of report? "She claims my daughter is becoming too influenced by human ways." Lyria said, her skin shifting slightly, "that she speaks of remaining on Earth, of studying at your universities. Is that so terrible?" Maya asked carefully. The queen's eyes changed to a thoughtful blue. "Ilara is heir to the throne of Zorax. Her place is here. Her duty is to our people." Maya nodded, understanding the weight of royal responsibility. "Does Minister Krav mention me in his reports?" Lyria's tendrils flattened briefly. "He believes you have unduly influenced my daughter toward human values and away from Zoraxian traditions." "And what do you believe, Your Majesty?" Maya asked, holding her breath. The queen was silent for a long moment. "I believe my daughter has always had a curious mind and a will of her own," she said. "Finally, she was drawn to other worlds, long before she met you." Diplomat Maya felt herself relax slightly. However, Lyria continued, her voice firmer. "There is talk in the council of recalling the delegation. Early Minister Krav argues that Ilara is neglecting her duties to Zorax by immersing herself too deeply in Earth culture. What can I do?" Maya asked. The queen's eyes met Maya's directly. "You can tell me truthfully, what are your intentions toward my daughter?" Maya took a deep breath. "Your Majesty, I love Ilara. I would honor her position as princess and future queen while standing by her side if she would have me. And if the council opposes such a union, then I would respect their decision." Maya said, though it pained her to say it, "I would never ask Ilara to choose between me and her people." Lyria's skin lightened, an indication of approval. "A diplomatic answer," she said. "But I sense it is also an honest one. Thank you. Your Majesty, you may go." The queen said, "I will consider what you have said." 3 more months passed, with increasing rumors that the Zoraxian delegation would be recalled early. Maya worked even harder to strengthen relations between the two worlds, hoping to create a foundation that would survive, even if she and Ilara could not be together. One evening, as Maya sat in her quarters reviewing trade proposals, her communication device chimed with an incoming transmission from Earth. Her heart leapt when she saw it was marked personal from Princess Ilara. Such direct communication had been rare. Maya activated the screen and Ilara's face appeared, her blue skin vivid against the backdrop of what appeared to be an earth forest. Her tendrils moving gently in the breeze. "Maya," she said, her voice slightly distorted by the vast distance. "Maya, I miss you." "I miss you too," Maya replied, drinking in the sight of the princess. "Are you well? How is Earth?" "Earth is beautiful," Ilara said, her eyes shifting to a warm gold. "The oceans are as you described, and your forests, the plants do not respond to emotions, but they have their own kind of life." Maya smiled. "I'm glad you're enjoying it." Ilara's expression grew more serious. "Minister Krav is sending reports to the council claiming I am neglecting my duties." I know, Maya said. The queen told me. The princess's skin darkened. He wishes me to return to Zorax immediately, to begin preparation for mating with him. Maya felt sick at the thought. What will you do? Ilara's tendrils curled determinedly. I have requested a private audience with your Earth Council to propose a new kind of alliance between our worlds. What kind of alliance? The princess leaned closer to the screen, her voice lowering. A diplomatic marriage. Maya gasped. Ilara, are you saying? My mother was joined to my father to unite two Zoraxian nations. The princess said, why should I not join with you to unite? Two worlds, but the council minister Kraviam still princess of Zorax. Ilara said, her skin glowing with determination. It is time I began making decisions as the future queen. The transmission ended soon after with promises to speak again. Soon. Maya sat in the dark, her mind racing with possibilities and fears. A diplomatic marriage between a human and the heir to the Zoraxian throne. It seemed impossible. And yet, the next morning Maya was awakened by urgent chiming. Diplomat Kai Chen's face appeared. On her screen, Maya turned on the news channel. He said, his expression tense. Something's happening. Maya activated the screen to see reports of a Zoraxian ship leaving Earth orbit ahead of schedule. They're coming back, Chen said early. Something happened. Last night Maya felt cold dread. What happened? No one's saying, Chen replied, but rumor has it. Princess Ilara addressed the Earth Council in private session, and whatever she said caused an uproar. Maya dressed quickly and hurried to the diplomatic wing, where she found other members of the Earth delegation gathered around screens, showing the returning Zoraxian ship. Captain Reynolds approached her, looking concerned. This doesn't look good. Maya. What do you know? Nothing. Maya admitted, trying to hide her worry. The palace was buzzing with activity when a messenger arrived, summoning Maya to the throne room. Her heart pounding, she followed the guard through corridors filled with Zoraxians whose skin showed patterns of excitement and concern. Queen Lyria sat on her throne, Minister Krav standing at her right hand, his skin almost black with what Maya had learned to read as anger or outrage. Other council members lined the walls, their tendrils moving in agitated patterns. Diplomat Maya, the queen, said formally, the Zoraxian delegation is returning early due to a diplomatic incident. What happened, Your Majesty? Maya asked, though she suspected she knew. Minister Krav stepped forward. Your princess sought to manipulate my princess into an inappropriate alliance. He spat the words. His four hands clenched. Maya kept her expression neutral. I don't understand. The queen raised a hand for silence. The details will be discussed when the delegation arrives, she said. They will be here within hours. You are. Dismissed diplomat Maya. The waiting was excruciating. Maya paced in her quarters, unable to focus on work or eat. The crystal Ilara had given her pulsed more rapidly than usual, as if sensing her distress. Finally, word came that the Zoraxian ship had landed. Maya rushed to the throne room where a crowd had already gathered. The council members, the queen, various officials and diplomats. The doors opened and the Zoraxian delegation entered, Minister Krav in the lead, his posture rigid with anger. Behind him came Princess Ilara, her skin glowing with a brightness Maya had never seen before. Her eyes a brilliant gold, her tendrils raised proudly. Daughter Queen Lyria said, rising from her throne. Explain yourself. Ilara stepped forward past Minister Krav. Mother, she said, her voice clear and carrying. I have proposed to the Earth Council a new alliance between our worlds, one sealed by diplomatic union. Krav's skin darkened further. Madness. He hissed to suggest mating with a lesser species. Maya flinched at his words but kept her eyes on Ilara. I have studied Earth customs, the princess continued, and learned that they unite not just for genetic compatibility or political advantage, but for emotional. Maya waited in her quarters for news. Her diplomatic team gathered with her, offering support, though none of them fully understood what was happening. Captain Reynolds stood by the window, her expression thoughtfully. You really love her, don't you? She said finally. Maya nodded, unable to deny it anymore. Yes, I do. Reynolds smiled slightly. When we were assigned this mission, I never expected one of us to fall in love with an alien princess. It's like something from an old story. Maya laughed, despite her anxiety. I know it sounds crazy, Not crazy, the captain said, just unexpected, but then the best things usually. Area chime at the door interrupted them. A royal messenger stood outside. The princess requests your presence in the Crystal Gardens, diplomat. Maya's heart raced as she followed the messenger through the palace corridors. Night had fallen, and the 3 moons of Zorax cast multicolored light through the crystal walls. The gardens were empty, except for Alara, who stood beside a pool of glowing water, her skin reflecting the moonlight. Maya, she said, turning as Maya approached. Alara. Maya moved quickly to her. What happened? What did the queen say? The princess's eyes shifted to a warm purple. My mother is wiser than the council gives her credit for. She said she has ruled Zorax through many changes and sees the value in new alliances. Does that mean? Maya hardly dared to hope. Alara took Maya's hands in her lower pair, while her upper hands cupped Maya's face. We have much to discuss, she said. There are conditions, traditions, protocols. Maya laughed softly. Of course there are. We're diplomats after all. The princess's skin brightened. My mother requires you to learn our ways, to study our history and governance, if you are to stand beside the future queen. I can do that, Maya promised, and there will be resistance. Alara continued. Minister Krav has supporters in the council who believe Zorax should remain pure. We'll face them together. Ilara's tendrils curled with pleasure. There is something else, she said, a formal requirement for royal unions. What's that? The princess stepped back. A diplomatic proposal. She said formally, a gesture of commitment that honors both traditions. Maya thought for a moment. On Earth, she said, when someone wishes to propose marriage, they often kneel before their beloved and offer a ring. Demonstrate. Alara requested, her eyes curious, feeling slightly self-conscious. Maya knelt on one knee before Alara. I don't have a ring, she said, but I offer my heart. Instead, Princess Alara of Zorax, will you marry me? To Maya's surprise, Alara began to giggle, her laughter like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. Maya felt her confidence waver. Have I done something wrong? She asked, still kneeling. No, Alara said between giggles, but on Zorax, kneeling is how we tell jokes. Maya felt her face flush with embarrassment. Oh, I didn't know. Please stand, Alara said, extending 2 of her hands to help Maya up on Zorax. Proposals are made while standing on one's toes, reaching toward the sky to show you would touch the stars for your beloved. Maya stood up shakily. So you are telling me a joke? Alara asked, her eyes shifting to a warm purple colorno. Maya said firmly, I'm proposing marriage. I love you. Alara, the princess's giggles stopped, her skin glowing so brightly that the garden around them lit up like day. All 4 of her hands reached for Mayathan. Perhaps, Alara said, we should honor both our customs. Maya watched in amazement as the princess rose onto her tiptoes, reaching one set of arms toward the 3 moons of Zorax. With her other 2 hands, she took Maya's hands on Earth. Maya whispered, the answer is either yes or noon. Zorax, Alara replied, we do not have words for yes or no. We have actions. The princess leaned forward and pressed her forehead against Maya's, a gesture that Maya had learned was deeply intimate among Zoraxians. Then Alara reached into a fold of her clothing and produced a small crystal ring, placing it on Maya's finger. Maya stared at the ring, glowing with inner light. Where did you get this? I had it made on Earth, Alara said. I studied your customs thoroughly. Maya laughed, tears in her eyes. So your answer is yes. The princess's skin pulsed with patterns of joy. My answer is this, she said, pulling Maya. Close. News of the unprecedented union spread quickly through the palace and beyond. Reactions were mixed among both the Zoraxians and the Earth delegation, some expressing support, others concern or outright opposition. Minister Krav formally protested to the council, but without the Queen's support, his objections carried little weight. Preparations began for a ceremony that would combine Earth and Zoraxian traditions. Maya's parents were brought to Zorax on a special diplomatic vessel, their initial shock at meeting their future daughter-in-law giving way to cautious acceptance as they came to know Alara. Mother. She has 4 arms. Maya's mother whispered during their first private conversation. Isn't that strange? Maya smiled. She uses them all. Beautifully, trust me, you'll get used to it. Queen Lyria insisted on a year of preparation for Maya, studying Zoraxian governance, history, and culture. If she was to be royal consort to the future queen, the training was intensive, but Maya applied herself. With diplomatic dedication, Ilara meanwhile studied Earth customs and traditions, dividing her time between Zorax and Earth. As she worked to strengthen the alliance between the worlds, they would eventually rule. Together, Minister Krav remained a problem, his supporters in the council continuing to oppose the union. He had been removed as security chief, but still held influence in certain circles. Maya was careful never to be alone with him, aware of the hatred that darkened his skin whenever they encountered each other. 6 months after Ilara's return from Earth, Maya was working late in the library studying ancient Zoraxian law texts when she heard movement behind her. Turning, she found Krav standing in the shadows, his skin almost black in the dim light. "Minister," she said cautiously. Rising from her seat, "You think you have won human?" he said, his voice cold. "You think you will rule alongside our princess? I think I will stand beside her." Maya replied carefully as she serves her people. Krav moved closer. His 4 hands clenched. "Our people, not yours. You will never be Zoraxian no matter what ceremony they perform." Maya stood her ground. "I don't pretend to be Zoraxian, Minister. I remain proudly human while honoring Zoraxian ways, just as Ilara remains Zoraxian while embracing certain human customs." He made a dismissive gesture. "You have bewitched her with your alien ways, but it will not last." Maya studied him, noticing how his tendrils lay flat against his head in rigid anger. Or perhaps fear. She realized suddenly he fears change. Fears losing control, fears a future he cannot predict. "Minister Krav," she said, softening her tone, "your loyalty to Zorax is admirable. Your desire to protect your world and traditions is something Ilara and I both respect." He seemed surprised by her words, his skin lightening slightly. "But the universe is vast," Maya continued. "Progress comes through connection, not isolation. Zorax has much to teach Earth, and Earth has gifts for Zorax in return. Isn't that worth exploring?" Krav was silent for a long moment, his eyes studying her. Then, without another word, he turned and left, leaving Maya wondering if she had made any impact at all. She reported the encounter to Ilara that evening as they walked in their favorite garden. "He will never accept us," Ilara said, her skin patterning with concern. "He doesn't have to." Maya replied, "He only needs to accept that change is inevitable." The princess's tendrils curled affectionately. "You have learned much about diplomacy, my love, from the best teacher." Maya smiled as the day of the ceremony approached. Delegations arrived from Earth, major world leaders, scientists, artists, all eager to witness the historic union. Maya's family was given honored status, housed in the royal wing of the palace. Queen Lyria herself oversaw the preparations, ensuring that both Earth and Zoraxian traditions were respected. The gardens were transformed with crystal arches and earth flowers, specially grown in Zoraxian soil. Musicians from both worlds practiced together, creating harmonies never before heard. The morning of the ceremony, Maya stood in her chambers as attendants helped her dress in a gown that combined earth white with Zoraxian crystal accents that responded to her emotions, glowing softly with her nervous excitement. Captain Reynolds, now appointed as Earth's official ambassador to Zorax, entered wearing formal diplomatic attire. "Well, Maya," she said, her eyes wide, "you look like something from another world." Maya laughed. "I feel like it." "Nervous?" Reynolds asked. "Terrified," Maya admitted. "But in a good way." The captain handed her a small box from Earth. "Your parents asked me to give you this." Inside, Maya found a simple gold locket containing photos of her family. She clasped it around her neck, the warm metal a reminder of her origins. Even as she stepped into her new life, a chime sounded, indicating it was time. Maya took a deep breath and followed the attendants through crystal corridors lined with Zoraxian guards, their skin formal ceremonial blue. The Great Hall had been transformed with living crystal formations that reached toward the open ceiling, where the 3 moons of Zorax were visible, even in daylight. Earth diplomats sat on one side, Zoraxian council members on the other. Queen Lyria waited on a crystal dais, her skin glowing silver with formal patterns. Maya walked slowly down the center aisle, aware of all eyes upon her. Some curious, some approving, some still doubtful. She reached the dais and bowed to the queen. Second entrance opened and Princess Ilara appeared, her skin glowing with patterns that told their story. In Zoraxian tradition, she wore a crown of tendrils adorned with tiny crystals that caught the light her four arms draped with flowing fabric that shifted colors as she moved. Maya felt tears in her eyes at the sight of her beloved, so beautiful, so alien, and yet so familiar.